What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my top 10 Mr. Olympia predictions in Classic Physique. It's a pretty damn stacked lineup this year, so I've went over all the top guys' physiques, and I've broken them down, their strengths and weaknesses, and now I'm going to be giving you my top 10. So I just want to point out that this list is totally subjective and this is just my opinion, but I could very well be wrong with this. Again, it's just prediction, so the chances of it actually being this way when the Olympia comes is very unlikely, but this is what I think is going to happen. So in 10th place, I am torn between what's this guy's name? Mateus Medigate, Michael DeBole, and Branch Chen. I think Mateus Medigate has a great physique. Some weaknesses, though, I think are he doesn't have the widest clavicles in the world, and his back is not as developed as you want him to be. I believe he competed, I don't remember what show it was, but he got second to Niall Darwin. I forget where the show was. And largely I think that was because he wasn't as conditioned, but you could definitely see the back wasn't as developed as you want it to be. Michael DeBole, I think the guy has a fantastic physique, and I think he brings it every single year. The problem is his structure just isn't the greatest. He doesn't have the smallest waist and the widest clavicles, and he's kind of got a blocky appearance, but he does bring it, so I do think he can get top 10. And in 10th, also, I got Branch Chen, who could possibly take 10th place, and that is because I think his front poses are super strong, but when he poses to the side and to the rear, I think it falls apart a little bit. I watched him compete in person at the Toronto Pro. I think he's got a fantastic physique, and I do think he could crack the top 10, but between these three guys, I can't really decide, so that's what I got here. Could they, if they come really on, go even better in the placings? Sure. Could they get even worse? Also sure, but this is where I've got them. And in 9th place, I got Livingston Lavinho. Again, guy has a fantastic physique. He's got amazing flaring lats, a crazy taper, crazy small waist, and flaring quads. But his back, not as developed as some of the other competitors, and I would also say his chest is not as developed, and I just think overall he's not as big, but I do think he has a really, really great physique, so expect him to be in the top 10. I'm predicting he's going to get 9th. In 8th place, this one may come as a shocker. I'm going to go for Breon Ainsley. I think Breon has such a great physique. I think he has some of the best arms in the world. But I think, his flaws, so the quads, they don't have a lot of sweep to them. And when we think about classic physique and the X-frame, that quad sweep is so, so important. And, I also don't think he just has the greatest frame of all the guys. Is definitely very good. He definitely has that small waist and that, taper and stuff like that. But the X frame, especially in his front poses, really isn't there because of the lacking quads. So I'm predicting he's going to drop down to 8th this year. In 7th place, I'm going to go with Matthew Grego. I've been following this guy on Instagram ever since the 2024 Olympia or the Arnold this year, and this guy looks amazing. I feel like he's made a lot of improvements from last year, and some of his weaknesses are his back, but I think he's definitely bringing it up, and once he matches that, I think this guy is going to be really, really tough to beat. I definitely think it's more balanced than it has been previously. I still think it's a little bit behind in that lower back area, but I think he looks great. Expect him to be in 7th. In sixth place, we got a repeat from last year, Jose Manuel. Again, I think this guy, again, all these guys have a fantastic physique. I feel like I'm going to say that like 30 times in this video. But this guy, though, brings in the conditioning. This guy consistently has had the best condition in classic physique, and he is just so peeled. It's absolutely crazy. Now, the things that I think are going to hold him back are he doesn't really have amazing quads from the front, and he does have a wider waist, and also his triceps are not really where they need to be. But other than that, this guy is amazing, and if it wasn't for his waist being wider, I do think he could crack top 3 just because he's so damn conditioned. But unfortunately, you can't change your genetics. He does have a wider waist, so I would expect him to be in 6th place. In 5th place, I'm going to go with One Punch Naz or Niall Darwin. This guy, in my opinion, has the best shape in classic physique. He's got the smallest waist by far, and from last year, one of his weaknesses was his back, but since then, he's definitely brought it up. I would say maybe it's still slightly behind, but noticeably better now. And, the only thing I think that's holding him back slightly is he's not the widest up top, but I do think he makes up for that by having a really, really small waist. And I've been seeing his updates. At his last show, he competed and he came in peeled. So I definitely think he is a shoo-in for top 5. Could he, get out of the top 5 if some people come really, really on? I do think so. But with the flaring quads, the decently wide clavicles, and that minuscule waist, I think he's going to be in 5th. And personally, this guy has my favorite physique in classic. So you, Niall Darwin, get the Burly Boy stamp of approval. Not that means anything to anyone, but he's my favorite. In 4th place, I got Logan Franklin. Logan has, again, an incredible physique. If this guy brings in the conditioning that he brought to the Arnold Classic, 100%, I can see him cracking the top 5, and I think he can get 4th. Now, some things I think hold him back a little bit is doesn't have the widest clavicles ever, and I think his lats insert a little bit higher than you'd want them to be, and overall, I don't think he has some of the size of the other competitors, but he does have overall a good shape, and if he brings in that gnarly conditioning, I think he can get top 4. In 3rd place, I'm going to go with Terrence Ruffin. This guy brings the aesthetics, kind of like Niall Darwin, although I think Niall Darwin's even better. But I think overall, Terrence has a very, very good flow for classic. He's very balanced, proportionate, the quad sweeps, everything like that. If this guy brings the conditioning, I definitely think he can get top 3. And in 2nd place, Ramon Dino. Ramon has, again, a fantastic physique. The only thing I think really holding Ramon back is the fact that he's been very inconsistent a little kind of with his conditioning and stuff like that. He's also, in my opinion, compared to the other guys, not a great poser. So I think if he learned how to pose his physique a lot better, I think, that would make quite a bit of a difference. And, I think, again, he's got a great shape, small waist, good wide shoulders. So I do think if he comes on, he can bag a 2nd place. Now in 1st place, we got Mike Sommerfeld. Now you're probably like, wait a minute. Didn't you make a video saying Mike Sommerfeld's probably not going to be able to compete because of the height caps and stuff like that? Yeah, I did say that. So if for whatever reason he doesn't make weight or the height cap that he needs to, be the weight that he is, then I would completely disregard him and then move everyone down a place or up a place, I guess. But if Mike Sommerfeld is able to compete at his best and he is able to compete on stage, I do think he will be the Mr. Olympia champion, and that's just because classic physique is essentially judged the same way as open bodybuilding, except you need to have a really, really small waist to do well, and Mike essentially has the biggest muscles and the smallest waist, the widest shoulders, so he's probably going to win. Lights out, in my opinion. If he competes the way he did last year, I don't even think it's going to be close. I don't think people realized how hard he pushed C-Bum last year, but he definitely pushed him super, super hard. So I predict Mike Sommerfeld, if he can compete, to win the Olympia. All right, guys, but let me know, what do you think of my top 10? I guess it was more like a top 13, but I couldn't really decide between Branch, Michael DeBull, and Mateus Medigate. I think they are all very close, in my opinion, to get that 10th place spot. But let me know in the comments if you agree with my top 10 list. Gonna be flying out to Vegas tomorrow, so I can't freaking wait. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.